Friday was a volatile session for Nifty. Nifty opened at around 670, went up to 11,750, and then took a resistance at the yesterday's high, and from there it came all the way down to around 11,525 levels, and then again took a sharp recovery from there to the levels of 11,650. So that was a very choppy session. So let's see how it's going to do tomorrow or Monday. Hey friends, this is Asim from Bulls and Bears. So we are going to do analysis of Nifty and Bank Nifty today, and also Reliance. So these are the three things that we are going to talk, maybe about 15-17 minutes video today. So because we are going to be talking about Nifty weekly chart, then daily chart, hourly chart, and so on, so that we can see it from all perspective, whether Nifty is changing its territory in terms of it's going to sustain the uptrend, or is it going to reverse it from here. So we'll talk about a couple of indicators also in it that I'm looking at. All right, so let's get going. So I'm going on to the weekly chart. So weekly chart for Nifty. So this is our weekly chart. If you see, the Nifty is kind of trading at its near peak levels, which is pre-COVID 11,400 levels, and now we are trading. We made a high of about 12,000 recently, 12,000, 12,025. And now if you see this weekly chart, so here we see a pattern called evening star pattern. However, maybe not a copybook style, but that's what Nifty on the week 21st made this big red candle, then made a bullish Rami, which is a bullish signal from here. So this correction of last 4-5 weeks got over here, and then this big green Marbazu candle has really shown that maybe Nifty is breaking out, and everyone was expecting that it may just may possibly break and create an all-time high, but we are yet to see that. So what has happened over the last 3 weeks, if we see that Nifty broke out and then it made this red candle, then a spinning top at the top, which is generally a negative candle, and then this last week's candle was again a red candle, which kind of took away the gains of last two weeks or so. However, it is still able to sustain the supports on a weekly chart, which is, let's say, is at around this green candle of 24th August, if I were to say so. However, it looks like that maybe in the short term Nifty is kind of topped out, and it may change course or not. That we'll see when we look at the shorter term charts as well. But on a weekly front also, it's a time to be a little bit cautious unless we break this 12,025 or 12,050 levels. So on the upside, there is no trade as such, except for the intraday if you want to do that. But on this thing, positional basis, I see more risk on a higher side than the lower side. So that's about weekly. And other things, let's say if you were to kind of let's check what is our indicators, which is, are they showing any kind of momentum loss, or are they showing any kind of a divergence happening on which is generally seen as a reversal signs. So this is, I have put in indicator RSI and momentum indicator called CMO. So RSI 14 period shows that this week ending 5th of October, RSI was at 63, and wherein the Nifty had made a high of 11,938. But as against, then if you look at the 2 weeks after 19th October week ending, so Nifty made a new high of 12,018, but RSI had dipped down from there. So there is a no doubt divergence happening. But whether this divergence on a weekly chart is going to play a role or not, we'll have to see it when this breakdown happens. And the breakdown will happen at 11,000 levels. So we are still far away from there from a weekly correction or a weekly reversal point of view. So, and weekly reversal, if that happens and it stays below that, that means that we can assume that the Nifty may have changed its course for next 3 to 6 months, right, or maybe 9 months period. So we may see uh, you know uh, not so healthy days for market or investors. So Nifty may drift down to those levels. We are yet to see, still far away, 700 points from that breakdown levels, but yeah, time to be cautious. And let's see now on daily charts how it is looking. So daily charts, here we are on the daily charts now. We see this is a beautiful rally here, and this is wherein most of the people thought it's going to, breakdown has happened, and then this breakdown failed. And from this failure breakdown, this pattern emerged, and Nifty. So October month was a kind of heroic month for Nifty, and never done before kind of scenario wherein Nifty jumped more than 10% in a month. So now it looks like there is a lot of consolidation or distribution happening. Why I'm saying consolidation or a range or a distribution, because it will be a distribution if it breaks down from here. Until the time that breakdown happens, of course, it's difficult to say. So like here also we can see this is a kind of wherein it consolidated for a significant amount of time. We can easily compare this particular time and this time. Looks like both are almost same. So it was kind of going up, then consolidated, then it broke down, and so far this is what is happening. Similar kind of things happening here. And now whether it is going to kind of break down like this or not, that's we are yet to see. That's sitting still in the future. Put in two indicators here. One is RSI and our momentum indicators by the name CMO. So these two indicators, let's see what they are saying. So on RSI on daily charts basis, if we look at it, when Nifty made this high here on the weekend on 14th of October. So this is where Nifty made this about 12,000 levels, 11,990 plus kind of levels. So RSI that day was about 70, 69 and a half, and the Nifty after that, this RSI is, if you see, is consistently dropping. And if you see also that RSI is trend, like if you draw a trend line on RSI, so that also clearly suggests that the RSI has broken its trend line, so which in itself is a kind of negative signal for me. So that is how I would read it. So be time to be a bit cautious. And on the other side, if I look at the CMO momentum indicator, that also shows that the momentum is dying down. So this line of this, if you look at this line, this is kind of was going up, now it is basically coming down. So that's again another point that we may want to kind of consider while looking at these two Nifty daily charts. So to me, it looks like time to be cautious on Nifty until unless it breaks clearly above 12,000. Now let's look at the hourly chart. So on hourly chart basis, if we look at it, so it's shows that Nifty for last 2 days have been trying to cross 11,750 levels, but both the days it has fallen. If you see here and here as well, so looks like the supply is coming at around these levels, and this becomes a kind of major hurdle for Nifty to cross these levels. So let me go back to Nifty's chart, spot chart rather than future. So the spot chart also tells us the same story here. So both these levels is kind of issue for us until unless this crosses, so Nifty may not be able to sustain. And if Nifty is keep on taking the resistance here, so we may see lower levels. And other thing you may also notice that let me just remove these from here. Okay, There's some problem. Okay, leave it. So so if we see here, Nifty has left this channel, which was 12,000 to this, as we discussed in one of our earlier video as well, and it is now trading within this lower channel of 300 to 600 or 700 levels, so 11,700 and 300. So this becomes a kind of tradable channel for Nifty until unless it really crosses above 11,750 levels and stay above it. So that is another important thing. However, in the shorter time span, whether what we are seeing, whether on Monday or Tuesday, whether it's going to how it's going to trade. So my gut feeling basis the RSI doesn't really give me anything, because the RSI, whenever market is going up, let's say these two hourly charts on these two peaks, let's say if you look at it, so Nifty RSI couldn't really go even above 50, so that shows that's a kind of peak, and the strength is missing in Nifty. And it's basically on the other side. If you look at another thing, is that at every lower level, RSI is slightly going up, so it's a kind of confusing signals that Nifty RSI is giving. So maybe it may consolidate, or it may just again go back to this level of 11,750 kind of levels and then again retrace from there. So momentum is also showing that yes, there's a divergence being seen on the momentum. So the momentum was lower at higher levels, and then it came down, but momentum was picking up. So that's again suggesting that maybe Monday can be a rebound day for in a very short term, maybe intraday point of view or so. So on Monday, Tuesday, Nifty may bounce back, but whether that bounce back is going to stay or sustain or not, that's a bigger question to be answered. So that's about Nifty. But before we close on Nifty, let's look at what is option data is suggesting about Nifty. So I'm on a Nifty NSE's website, and we are looking at the option chain. So we'll just review our weekly 5th November expiry. So here, if you see, the call writing is being seen on 11,600 levels, and wherein the spot is 11,650. So people are basically, at the money they are shorting, so they are not very bullish on Nifty. So second highest call writing, let's say in the close nearer time frame, is basically, or the nearest spot prices is 11,700, sorry, not 600. So that's what people are not thinking, that it will be able to cross 11,700 levels. However, the maximum call writing is being seen at 12,000, which is a clear-cut resistance. So people who are really want to sell, they may sell 12,000 call options. So on the put side, where do we see the support is again 11,600. So as I mentioned, that maybe Nifty may consolidate within this small range of 11,500 to 11,700 levels in this week. So that is my observation about Nifty. So in overall, let's see, if we were to kind of conclude, so Nifty's range is broadly within this 11,700 and 11,500 for this particular week. All right, so let's move on to Bank Nifty. So again, the same method. We'll look at Bank Nifty weekly charts, and then we'll look at the daily and then hourly charts, and then option chain. So here, if you see Nifty earlier, Bank Nifty earlier on a weekly chart, so we are on a weekly chart here. So Nifty in August 24th week ending broke out this range, and everyone was bullish that in August Nifty may just give a it broke out and it was lagging behind, so it may be one of the things that may push Nifty higher. But the very next week, Bank Nifty actually gave up its majority of its gains, and since then, so for 4 weeks, it kept on continuously falling, wherein the Bank Nifty had come down from 25,000 to 21,000, even 20,000 300 kind of levels just in a matter of 4 weeks. So that was a very fierce fall on Bank Nifty. But along with the Nifty, so at the end of September month, so 28th September, so when this week kind of shown a reversal, and this is very potent a reversal pattern that candlesticks made. This is thirsting line, and since then in last 4 weeks, so Bank Nifty has kind of regained the entire loss that Bank Nifty had sustained over those 4 weeks. So that's kind of, again, we are looking at the same levels. Bank Nifty slightly lesser, because that point in time we had reached 25,000, and now we have stopped at 200 points below that. However, if you look at closely the last two candles, so these two candles, again, this has become a kind of engulfing. These are small candles, but it has become a kind of engulfing candle, and which is a bearish signal, because the green candle is being engulfed by the red candle. That shows that the sellers or supply is coming, and more important, so it happens to be a Fibonacci level as well. So considering this, again here as well, time to be a little cautious on a weekly charts, because the potency of this particular candlestick pattern, if we just want to kind of trade just basis candlestick pattern, is high. It's about 60-65% engulfing candle potency of being successful. So keeping that in mind, so next 4 to 5 weeks we can expect Bank Nifty to go down from these levels. So next natural support is again at the same swing low of 21,000 or 20,300 kind of levels, or 400 kind of levels. So that's again time to be cautious on Bank Nifty for next 4 to 5 weeks on a basis of weekly charts. Now let's look at the RSI. RSI, does it show anything to us? No, it is not showing anything, because both the levels are almost kind of same. And what is momentum indicator is showing? Momentum indicator is showing that momentum is dying down a bit, right? So that is basically again a little bit of a confirmation, considering both these indicators are leading indicators. So that's on weekly charts. Let's go to daily quickly. On daily charts also, if you see that Bank Nifty broke out this level of 23,850 or 23,900 kind of levels, and then since then it's basically trying to go up. But here, if we look at it in line chart, so if you see, this is basically made a double top. So let me just draw it here. So it's making a double top here. So this double top formation has kind of is broken, because if you know the double top, so this the midpoint of the bottom between these tops is taken out by Bank Nifty by virtue of this red candle here. So the immediate target on a daily chart basis comes around 800 points off from here, which takes us to roughly around 23,000 to 23,200 kind of a range to start with. And if we marry this with our weekly charts, so then it gives us a flavor that yes, that may be a kind of starting point, but bigger, and if that happens, maybe bigger fall is awaited then in the coming days. So if you look at now RSI, so RSI for any divergence, because there's a breakdown already happened. So RSI, if you see here, there's a clear-cut divergence being seen on this day, 9th of October. The RSI was 66.5, and here when the Bank Nifty is much higher than that day, the RSI has gone down to 64.5. So there's that RSI divergence, which signifies a reversal. So that is basically also confirming that it may go down to 23,000, 23,200 kind of levels. Now, if you look at the Chande, CMO, so CMO also confirming it that the momentum is dying down. So this upside momentum is dying down. So that is also important to note. But what will happen on Monday or Tuesday? So let's look at the hourly chart. So hourly chart, we can clearly see that this is your hourly chart. Sorry, and let me just. Um, So here is basically you can see the channel is kind of broken here. The bank Nifty has left this channel of 24,800 to 24,000. So these 800 points I entered this channel, which is 23,000 to 24,000 levels. So if it is not able to break that 24,200, so that will act as a resistance. 24,200, 24,250 kind of levels will act as a resistance, and from there bank Nifty will come down again in case it goes up. So maybe you can look for some shorting opportunities from that level. So that's about bank Nifty as well. So, and before we close it, let's look at the option chain data. So option chain data is suggesting that a significant amount of call writing has happened on 24,000 and 24,500 levels. So this clearly shows that people are selling these calls and they don't expect to bank Nifty to go beyond 24,000, or maybe 24,500 is wherein the highest amount of call writing happening. So look at this way. So if someone is selling 24,000 call, so he is getting 440 rupees. So, and his loss only starts when the bank Nifty goes beyond 24,500. So which is is the point wherein the highest call writing has happened. So they are also kind of protected here, because that's where they are going to again see a lot of selling happening. So clearly 24,000 will act as a strong resistance. In an intraday basis may go higher, but on a closing basis it may not sustain above that. On the put side, if you see, so we don't really see any significant support. However, 3.5 lakhs shares, or shares are sitting at 23,500, but 23,000 is wherein 500,000 shares sitting. So that's a kind of a range. We can say 23,000 to 24,500, or maybe I would say 24,300 range for this week. So let's conclude this now. So I would think that the range for bank Nifty is 24,200 and 23,000. So that's what is option chain and chart suggesting. And before we really close this video, let's go and look at the Reliance chart, because I saw that there's a reversal happening in Reliance. So let's look at the daily charts. And I had covered a bit of a slightly Reliance in my earlier video, wherein I mentioned that Reliance has been able to sustain this 2000 levels. It went below 2000, but again closed above, and it has confirmed this that it is now not ready to go down in a jiffy below 2000. So this level of 2052 becomes a kind of, though there's going to be a kind of tussle here in this zone, so it may not really run very swiftly here, but Reliance again can support Nifty significantly. So what I've done is I have taken some position in Reliance, looking at this hourly chart, and hourly chart we look at from a short-term perspective, which is 2 days to 5 days kind of horizon. My stop loss here is basically 2036 kind of levels, or 2034 levels, and my target is 2130. So that's how I played Reliance, seeing that it may just go up slightly. and so that's a kind of 3-4% move in next 3-4 days. And there's a good risk reward ratio that we are getting 1:3 plus. This is all about today. Thank you so much, friends. Hope you enjoyed the video, and please do leave your comments and subscribe if you like the content to encourage me to keep doing and making these videos. Thank you so much. Bye.